T-Bone and Heather on Star 98.3 and 97.7 The Bay.
Well, good morning, all. Welcome to the show, and joining me on the phone lines this morning, we have Dr. Mehta. Dr. Mehta, are you there?
Hey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back to our show.
Welcome back. So glad to have you.
So glad to be here.
And nice to see you out and about in the community, which we did. We saw you not long ago at one of our broadcasts. But I'm so glad that we're talking to you today because I just heard a news story over the weekend about how there is a huge shortage of lifeguards. And not just here, not just in Southern Maryland, but nationwide. And of course, there's pool parties. People are getting together, having a good time this summer. Oh, who's watching the kid who's in charge of watching the kid in the pool?
Yeah, that's a great question. And like you said, this summer finally feels like it's going to be kind of normal again, right? Like all the pool parties are back and the beach trips are back, and that's awesome. But we have to remember that drowning is still one of the leading causes of death in our little guys, especially that 1 to 4 year old age. So supervision is so key, and I just can't stress that enough. Like you said, somebody needs to be watching these kids in the water. It's so important for parents to think about someone called a water watcher. So that's an adult who's going to provide constant attention to kids, and you can switch these off. These are someone that's not going to be on their cell phone, not with a drink in their hand,
right?
Whose job it is just to watch the kid.
Because everybody thinks everybody else is watching the kid.
Exactly.
And everybody thinks
everyone's around.
Right, and nobody's watching the kid, which is the problem.
Well, and it's summertime, and the kids are running crazy. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen in the summer. One of the things that caught my eye, and I've heard this term before, but I don't know what it is. What is this dry drowning?
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad you're bringing this up, because every summer I hear this term, dry drowning, and it makes its way around, social media. And so this term was actually based on these soldier reports several years ago of children dying unexpectedly several days after they had just been swimming. And these were kids who had apparently no reported symptoms, and then all of a sudden they just kind of deteriorated and they died. That's just wrong. That's not a thing. And I hate when people scare parents. Like, there's enough to be worried about as a parent.
Right.
This is one thing I don't need you to be worried about. So let's talk about what we should actually talking about, which is this idea of non-fatal drowning.
Okay.
So non-fatal drowning is when your child has some sort of submersion event. This means their head was underwater, they inhaled a significant amount of water, more than just water going down the wrong pipe, or spit going down the wrong pipe, that kind of thing. When they get out of the water, if they are sputtering, having a persistent cough, having any difficulty breathing, they need to get evaluated by a medical provider right away.
Because you think water would be in the lungs?
Exactly. So the concern here is that water, especially that chlorinated water, is going to be in your lungs. It's going to cause acute lung injury for those kids, and it can lead them to start deteriorating. However, if you have them under medical supervision, it's much less likely that that's going to happen, because they can catch it early and take the right steps, or, just observe your child in a medical setting so that if things do start kind of going the wrong way, they can take steps right then and there to kind of protect your child. But I don't want parents to think that, their kid's going to be playing in the water, they were totally fine, and then all of a sudden a week later they have a cough, and now they're going to deteriorate.
Right.
Right. That's not a thing.
Okay, good. Well, that's great. That's good to hear.
Another thing, too, is... Okay, listen, I hate ticks, okay? And everybody is out in the lawn, and they're having fun, and they're playing. Now, how long, where you seriously have to be, thinking about going to your doctor to get antibiotics, how long does the tick have to be on you? Do I have to see a bullseye before I go to the doctor, or what should I do if I find a tick on me?
Yeah, so if you find a tick on you, first thing, remove that tick. Use tweezers, get down low to the skin, and move upward and try to get the entire tick out. But ideally, I know it's kind of, ideally, you should be doing tick checks at least once a day. And especially for kiddos, you want to do a tick check on them at least once a day. Get them completely naked, look in those areas like under the armpits and the groin area, where ticks like to hide. And if you're doing a tick check at least once a day, then you know that the tick has not been on for longer than 24 hours.
Right.
If your tick has been on for, we say like 24 to 36 hours, so 36 hours is kind of that cutoff, 24 hours is better, your chance of getting Lyme disease is pretty negligible. 24 hours and less is basically zero.
Oh, okay.
So if you're getting it off in those first 24 hours, you don't have to worry about Lyme. You don't need to go get antibiotics from your doctor. You can take it off and just watch that area.
Hey,
okay.
Hey, Doc, the Lyme disease doesn't affect everybody the same, does it? I mean, if you get Lyme disease, is it possible that you can never eat red meat again? Is that a symptom?
So it can be a symptom that you can get what's called alpha-gal after a tick bite, and that can make it so that way you have felt this almost like allergy to meat.
Wow.
It's not the more common stuff that we see. Usually we'll see that bullseye rash and kind of going down that. But it is something that can happen. So, yeah, if you think you had a tick bite and then all of a sudden you're having a really bad reaction to meat, go get tested with your doctor.
Hey, not that you would be endorsing any product over another, but I'm well, I think it's commonly labeled lazy, and I don't want to be putting on sunscreen and bug repellent. Is there like one thing that I can put on that's going to give me coverage and protection all day long?
So you can use, so there's three main ones. So one is going to be products that contain DEET.
Okay.
The second one is going to be picaridin, and I actually like picaridin-containing products a little bit better than DEET because they don't have that stickiness and they don't have that smell. And the last one is going to be permethrin, which is actually applied on like your clothes and your backpacks and things like that if you're going hiking.
So these are
all
things
three
I'm
of them
looking.
are good.
These are the ingredients that I'm looking for when I'm looking at this stuff. And
Exactly.
and how often do? Because some people are like sunscreen crazy. I mean, you got to put it on every 15 minutes. That can't be true, right?
So maybe not every 15 minutes, but you actually bring up a good point. So one of the things we don't want parents to do or people to do is get those combination bug spray plus sunscreen lotions.
Yeah.
Those are not good because sunscreen you do need to reapply about every 80 to 90 minutes or after you go into a body of water, which is going to kind of wash away a lot of that sunscreen. But bug repellent a lot of times is good for about 5 to 8 hours, depending on, what concentration. So follow the labels there. But yeah, sunscreen, we really do want you guys to be applying it pretty frequently. And I've already seen kids in my office who've had really bad sunburn.
So our kid has, our kid is a red hair, fair skin, and he's already been burned
up.
and we're and I'm as a kid I always got burned, and I mean I did the zinc oxide on the nose and on the cheeks, because we would go to the beach once in a while, and it was you gotta watch out for that because later on in life, skin cancer, and it's one of the most deadliest cancers going in our neck of the woods. So, any other advice? Is the SPF, the higher you go, the more protected you are?
Yes, so the higher you go, the more protected you are, up to a point. So SPF 30 is going to give you like a good 90, I think it's 96, 97%. SPF 45 is going to get you a little bit higher to 98%, but you don't need to go SPF 100.
Okay.
You're getting minimal increments of increased protection when you go higher and higher. What's more important is that reapplication, right? Because you put it on and then you go in the pool. When you come out,
right,
a lot of that's already been wiped off. You towel dry, you've wiped a lot of that off. So then you got to reapply it. And I think that's the part more than the number. At least get the SPF 30, but then don't forget that reapplication. Set alarms on your phone. It's so easy now. Just every 90 minutes, have a little alarm go off, get out, put on the sunscreen again, and then you can go back to doing what you're doing. It only takes a second.
Dr. Maida, let me ask you this too, because we were talking about kids in the pool. When should kids start swimming lessons? Because I don't. T never had swimming lessons, right? T, you never did.
No,
we taught the boy how to swim.
I kind of just figured it out
like Red Cross
later in life, but and then I see stuff online some of these kids, they're I don't know,
infants,
a week old, they're swimming.
Yeah.
What is a good age to start introducing that, you think?
Yeah, I think everyone's seen that video of the infant just being thrown into the water. And
yeah, it was very disturbing. It was very disturbing.
So the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends swim lessons beginning at age 1. And, between the ages of 1 and 3, you can do classes that include kind of both the parent and the child. But by the time most kids turn 4, they're really ready for true swimming lessons. So they're going to learn floating, treading water, getting out to an exit point, basic strokes. Those are super important. So I would start, depending on the developmental milestones that your child is meeting at age 1 is a great time to start. And also think about the fact that for the past couple of years, swim lessons were kind of shut down.
Yeah.
So if your kid's 3 now, it's a good time to start thinking about swim lessons for them. And I know a lot of the local Parks and Recs groups have wonderful American Red Cross certified swim lessons. And so really start thinking about getting your kids into them. Definitely by the time they turn 4, you need to make learning how to swim a priority for you and your family.
Dr. Mehta, wonderful pediatrician working over at Calvert Health Medical Center. Thank you for your time. I'm sure you're going to have a busy summer as, everybody gets out and gets going. But thanks for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Monica. And come on out and see us when we're out and about in the community. We'd love to see you.
Absolutely. Would love to see you guys, too. I hope you have a wonderful summer.
Thanks.
You too. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really really important. And I just kind of figured it out. And I almost drowned figuring it out, but I didn't.
Did somebody just throw you in that old wives' tale? Throw a kid in now, learn to swim. Please don't do that.
No, they didn't do that. I just went to a local lake and watched kids swimming.
And how they were doing it?
And how they were doing it, and just kind of did what they were doing. Mm-hmm. And I got to where I could, I could go a little bit.
Move yourself, propel yourself.
Exactly. And then, then you think, I can swim. And then I went a little too far. And then,
oh my gosh. Did somebody come out and get you?
A lady was floating out there in an inner tube, and she reached over.
Saw that you were struggling.
We reached over. Yeah, I said help, and she reached over and grabbed me.
Oh, thank goodness.
Well, right. And then once she did, I got going again, and I swam back to shore. But I just kind of panicked because I couldn't touch bottom.
Right.
Because all day long I had been teaching myself to swim, and I could always touch bottom. And then I went a little too far where I couldn't touch bottom. And then, I freaked out.
It's scary, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
So, yeah, there was that. But, yeah, you got to learn how to swim.
It's so important.
And I must have been, 12. Something like that. I was like, I got to figure this out. I'm getting too old.
You were 12 and didn't know how to swim?
I didn't know how to swim.
Wow.
So, yeah, then I just
went
somewhere where I knew people would be swimming. And I was like, okay.
Well, there is a shortage of lifeguards out there. But, another thing, you got to pay attention. When you say, hey, watch the kid in the pool for me, I'm going to go inside and go to the bathroom or something. You have to watch that kid in that pool.
Him. Especially here in Southern Maryland, if you're going to be swimming in the local waterways. First of all, like the Patuxent, it looks like, it's not hardly, it's moving. It's moving. Mm-hmm. It is. And there's stuff in there. I mean, you got to be careful. Just keep your head on a swivel. 8:25, let's see what the weather's doing.
Southern Maryland weather.
For today, well, it's going to be mostly sunny with a high near 76, so a beautiful day on tap. Then tonight, we are looking at mostly clear skies with a low around 55. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a slight chance of showers. I don't think the showers that we're going to see tomorrow are going to help put a dent in this drought at all, unfortunately. And it's going to be warm tomorrow with a high near 84. And by Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high near 78. High tides today, Chesapeake Beach at 5:51 p.m., Point Lookout at 3:10 p.m., and Cobb Island at 5:09 this evening. Currently, Lexington Park 57 degrees, Brooms Island 59, Pomfret 57.